Hey guys, welcome along to intermediate level again. We're on our feet to start off with. Let's go to one end of our mats and we're walking out and walking back up, just bringing a little bit of a stretch as we go. So tuck the chin, bring the stretch down on the back of the legs, bend the knees as you get to that tougher position where the hands have to touch the ground to allow them to go flat. If you need to, that is, if you have the flexibility, then stay up. You don't need to go too far too soon. You can walk out into a quick plank, pike the hips and get the stretch again and walk it back up. Just gently working on getting that stretch down along the back of the legs. And a little bit of work into the shoulders as we go as well, keeping everything nice and braced. Quick plank, bring the stretch, arms strong. And remember, with every movement of those arms, we want to get that stretch. Standing nice and tall as you come back up, straighten everything up. And even as we walk back out, we're still getting that stretch until you go a little bit further forward into your plank position and that stretch is eased out and you get more work. Let's change it slightly after the next repetition. So last repetition, plenty of stretching. And we're going to walk out, but this time we're going to end up in our quad position. So push the hips nice and high, walk back up one more time, and this time we're going to end up in our quad position. So instead of walking big and getting a stretch, big movement and a big getting a stretch, let's bend the knees, let's lean forward, and from there you're going to walk it out. You can use as many arms as you like, as many as you need. So hand, 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 hand again, drop the knees. And from there, walk it back up. Hand, 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 hand. And standing nice and tall again. Bend it down. Let's walk it out. Now we want to try and get into this position with the least amount of arm pulls possible. Maybe 3 if possible, but again, all depends on your strength and all depends on the pressure. Don't fall out on the wrist as always. And you can stay with the previous exercise where there's still more of a stretch if you have to. So, right, left, right, and then right, left, push back up. And go again this time. Start with the left, left, right, left. So you have 3 arm pulls if you can, take more if you need it. And then left, right, and push back up, nice and tall. Right, left, right, you're in your quad position, knees underneath the hips, and push back up. And again, you're only there for a second. Once more, left, right, left, and drop the knees. Let's round the back, tuck the chin, and opposite way. Full movement, just to get that back moving. Breathe in as you go one way, breathe out as you go the opposite. Last repetition, and we're lifting ourselves back up again. So let's bring ourselves up. You can straighten the legs straight away if you want and walk yourself up with a stretch. Or you can go back to knees lifted and just walk yourself up with a couple of repetitions. Let's go back to walking out again. And this time, we're going to keep our legs relatively straight. You walk yourself out. First time we do it, again, we're going into our plank position. It's on both legs. Pike the hips and walk it back out. Let's stay on both legs as we walk out. But then when we go into the stretch, we'll walk back up on one leg. Keep it nice and comfortable. Roll it down, bring it out into your plank position, walk out nice and comfortably into your plank position. Let's lift the hips nice and high. Let's take one leg off and now watch the balance as you walk yourself back up. Bend that knee a little bit as you come, and now we get the balance. We stay on that one leg until we're upright. Rest the leg down. We were balancing on our right leg there. Remember what leg you are if it was the other. And we'll do the opposite as we come back up. So both feet down, walk it out into your plank position. Lift the hips nice and high. And then take the other leg off and walk it back up. You can stay both feet down if you need to, and just watch that balance as you come upright. And now we go to one leg and we stay on that one leg as we walk out and come back up, and then we change. So on one leg, bring it down, watch the balance. Easier option, stay on both feet, walk it out. You can rest that foot down to make it easier, and lift it again. And bringing it back up, we change legs. So once you get to that tough position when you're in your plank, you don't need to be on one leg. You can stay both feet down. Balance, watch that balance, bring it down, walk it out. Rest that foot down, you're in your full plank. Lift high, and again. And balancing. Let's stay on the one leg this time. So we're not going to change from here on in. Stay on the right leg or left if you want. We'll change in a little bit. Bring it down. And let's try not to bring that leg down, but that depends on strength. So you're just there for a second. Back up. Watch the balance as you come back upright. No rest. Stay balanced. Walking it back out. Quick plank position on one leg. Hips high. And walk it back up. Watch the balance as you walk it back up. Again, keep everything as steady as you can. You lose your balance, you regain it. One more on this leg before we change. And it's when you shift, rest, sit down once we're nice and high, shake out that standing leg. It's when you bring yourself back up, take your hands off the mat and you go onto one leg. That's when you're going to lose your balance the most. Onto the other leg, and we'll do 3 repetitions on this side. Again, easier option, drop the foot if you need to. Stay on one leg. Watch that balance. And try and keep going. Keep that breathing, keep that center nice and strong. Once more. Balance again. Rest it down, shake out that leg. Let's get a little stretch. Let's bring the stretch into the quads and change. 2 second stretch just to open up the front of those hips to get a little bit more mobility into the joints, into the knee joint especially, but a little bit into the hip as well. Make sure you're not falling over. Use the wall for balance if you have to. Once more on each leg. And from there, we're back coming down on all fours again without resting back down. So you're bringing it down, bend the knees, and you're walking out again. So this time you end up in your quad position. 1, 2, 3, quad. 1, 2, push off. Again, we're aiming to go onto one leg, but you can stay with both feet down. So from there, let's walk it out. Lift one leg and walk it back up. Changing sides. So both feet down, walk, right, left, right. Lift that other leg off and walk it back up. So like we did earlier, we start with both feet down, but now we stay on the one, we do one leg and then we'll change over. We'll lift the leg off. Watch the balance. Right, left, right. And bringing it back up. So you're not spending too long on that one leg. Change legs. Balance. And again, when you push back up onto that one leg, that's when the pressure is on. Again, let's go for 3 repetitions on one side. So stand on one leg, lead with the right arm to begin with, right, left, right, left, right, left. Lead with the left arm next time. Left, right, left. Balance is different. Right, left, right. And again, go back to the right. If you have to just switch it up. Three reps, done. Change sides, back to the left hand first. Watch the balance. Left, right, left. And back up. Right, left, right. And watching that balance all the time. One last one. Whichever hand you want. Leads. And pushing back up. And one last time. We'll bring it back down into the quad position and we hold both knees off. So both feet down and we come back down. So bring it down and hold that position. So keeping everything in position and breathe. Nice big breaths. Try and keep those knees nice and low without resting. 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7. Keep that breathing, keep that center nice and strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest the knees. Sit back, stretch the arms out in front, push the chest into the ground. And bring it straight back up, and let's mobilize our spine. So round the back up again and tuck the chin. And once more we get as much movement as we can. Last one. Let's mobilize our shoulder blades. Shoulder blades together and apart. Together and apart. We're going to concentrate on this movement as much as you can. Don't worry if you haven't got a huge amount of mobility in this exercise, especially when we get to that tougher positions. In a nice easy position like this, you probably can get plenty of movement. But just get as much movement as you can regardless. And try and work on full movement. Stretch them apart and push them together. And that's what you should be doing in as much shoulder exercise as you can. Get full movement into those scapulas, into the shoulder blades. Last one. And from there, slide the hands front and let's bend the backs gently. Comfortable on that lower back. Push the chest into the ground to get the stretch as you sit back. Once more. And we're going lifting. So bring it forward. Let's lift. Plank. High, stretch, drop the hips in line and work between that position of a stretch down along the back of the legs, downward dog, into your plank position. Let's concentrate on getting those shoulder blades together a little bit more when you go into your plank position. Breathe in as you go high, breathe out as you drop. Once more. Drop the knees, sit back, bring the stretch to the side. Both hands go to the left and stretch the shoulder towards the ground. So both hands go to the right. It's my left shoulder. I push towards the left. Right arm barely does anything. Push the body towards the left to feel that stretch. And the hip can go as well. So my hip is going to the right. My right arm stretches across and lean. So you really get that stretch out along the side of the body. Just a quick stretch again. Don't force it. Great stretch for the shoulder, outside of the shoulder, down along the side of the body. There's the lats as well, the big lat muscle in the back. Once more, last one. And bringing it back in. Back to our shoulder blade movement, but we will lift the knees off. So get the movement down low. Stay low if you have to, if this exercise causes any issues, but we want to work, so try and lift. Even if you can't get the movement, mobilization into the shoulder, stay high. Full movement, shoulder blades together and apart. Breathe in. Three more. Last one. Rest the knees. Stretch again, lengthen as long as you can. Breathe, get the air into the body once you get that rest. As you get that rest, try not to have the head on the ground, and that'll give you that little bit more of a stretch. And bring it back up into our plank position this time. And this time we hold our plank. So slide the hands as far forward as you can. Save the wrists into your modified. Stay in the knees if you have to at any stage. Or drop to the elbows if you have to. Lift. And let's get our shoulder blades as far apart as you can. Lift the body and hold. So it's as if you're pushing yourself as high as possible. Keeping the body tall. As far away from the mat as you can. So you get full movement into those shoulders. And gently rest. Sit down. Take the weight off the arms. You can do these exercises on the elbows if the wrists are under too much pressure, or ease it up by staying on the knees. It'll slightly change your shoulder position and give you less movement in the exercise. Bring it back up, and now shoulder blades go the opposite way. Shoulder blades together and hold. You can always adjust those wrists a little bit further forward. Have that heel of the hand out in front so that the heel of the hand is lifted on the edge of the mat, like I have just on that very front of the mat. And breathe. One more big breath in. Rest it down. Sit back. Take the weight off the arms again. And let's get a little bit of mobility into the shoulders. Drop to the elbows if you need to. Let's turn the body. So left leg back and the right arm is turning. Try and get more, concentrate on this movement a little bit more. So let's stay in that top part of the movement a little bit more. So we work on opening up the chest a little bit more. Just especially after the last two exercises. So let's stay a little bit higher. Just for a change. Last one. And change. Right leg is back, left arm moves. And again, let's work on that opening up outside the body a little bit more. So we get a few extra repetitions going that direction. Last one. And bring it back down. Drop to the elbows. And knees are underneath the hips. Curl the toes and let's lift the knees. Let's stay in that position for the moment and just hold ourselves off the mat. Keeping everything working, keeping the shoulders comfortable. You can come back up onto the hands if you want, if the shoulders are under any strain in this position. Center nice and strong, abdominals nice and braced. Back comfortable, pelvic floor muscles gently contracted. Abs tight. And rest it down. Let's go opposite arm, opposite leg. Let's go out to the side. Let's not change sides. So it's opposite arm, opposite leg, and they stay moving. Try and get that little pause when they're high. Control it back down. Lifting the knee outside the hip. And that adds a little bit more pressure. Next time you lift, hold the lift. Nice big breaths. Keep that lift of that knee, comfortable on the hip, comfortable on the shoulder. And slowly rest it down. Change sides, keep it moving. Just getting that little pause at the top. Control it back down. Keeping the center strong and keeping everything steady. And lift and hold it up. Brace that center, keep that lower back comfortable. Less height with the movement if you have to. And gently rest it down. Keep the elbows on the ground and sit back in that position. So bring the hands to the spine, hands together, palms together. And push the elbows into the ground. Again, try and keep the elbows off the ground. And we will come back to this stretch every time. Each time you come back to it, find your stretch. Adjusting slightly if you need to adjust the elbows if you have to. So you're trying to get those triceps stretched, shoulder joint. From there, bring the hands forward, straighten the elbows, bring it forward. Let's lift into our plank position. Let's step one foot out, bring it back in. Step the other leg out, bring it back in. Drop to the knees and sit back. The next time we do it, let's aim for height with our hip. So our leg is aiming to go straight up and then out. That depends on strength. Go to small movement if you have to. So modify your plank. Lift. Lift high and step it out. The higher you go and the bigger the movement, 1 rep each side. Drop the knees, sit back and stretch. Get the stretch every single time. Quick stretch and let's go again. So the bigger the movement, the tougher it will be. Just a touch out. Drop down. Back up again. Again, we're trying to keep moving without stopping for too long. And as you return the leg back each time to the center, lift it high again. So it goes high to begin with, it comes back in high again. So when we lift, lift high, step it out. Lift high, back up nice and high. Little rest in that position because the next time we lift, we're aiming to stay lifted and stay working. Again, small if you need to. Stay on your knees if you have to. You can still do this exercise on your knees, okay? Just one knee is going to take the weight as you step it out. So that is another option and is quite tough as well, but not as tough as lifting. Let's lift. Breathe. Try not to rest the leg every time it goes out. Try and just touch. Keeping that good form, keeping that center nice and strong, and keeping it in a straight line. Once more, each side. And drop to the knees. Take the weight off the elbows, straighten the arms and push the chest into the ground. Even bring it a little bit wider to open up the shoulders, especially after being on the elbows, which isn't the best position for those shoulders to be in. But it's a good position to work them. So now let's stretch them. And bring it down flat. Let's have the elbows outside, so right angles, elbows outside the shoulders, and let's lift opposite arm, opposite leg in that position. Breathe out as you lift, breathe in as you control it back down. Once more. And from there we lift the two arms up. So one leg. The leg rests down, but the arms not fully. And gently resting it down, give that back a little breather. And this time it's opposite arm, opposite leg. But they're going to move, so back to the first exercise, but they're going to move forward as well. So one at a time, lift, opposite arm, opposite leg. Hand goes forward, foot goes forward. Draw it back. Let's keep that moving. Straighten the leg fully, try and keep the lift of that leg up, and that's really going to be where the work is. Keep the lift of the elbow as well. Lengthen. Last one. And gently rest it down. Changing sides. Lift. And again, everything goes forward and back. Full movement. Keep the lift of that leg. The arm isn't going to work a huge amount in this position. It'll help with the exercise, toughness of the exercise, but it's that leg. Lift that leg. Remember, the legs are heavier. Two more. And gently rest it down again. We go with both arms and we go with one leg. We will stay with the same leg, so lift and lift one leg and draw everything forward and back. Let's lift the leg that's on the ground off the ground. It doesn't move anywhere except off. Now that leg that was moving still moves. Two more. We will rest before we change. And gently rest it down. Remember what leg was lifting, what leg was moving rather. We keep that leg that was moving on the ground. We lift the other leg off, and now we get both arms moving with that leg. Back comfortable throughout. Let's lift that other leg off, both legs off. Continue working the leg that was bending. And as always, you don't have to stretch your arms as far forward. We know how to move at this stage comfortably. We know what positions the back comes under pressure when the hands go out in front. Last one. And gently rest it down. Give the back a breather again. We will lift once more and both legs moving. So lifting everything, Both feet lift, everything going forward. The only difference is we're going to hold our hands forward in a bit and we're going to keep the legs moving. Now, again, you don't need to have the hands at full stretch. We aim to have them there if the back is comfortable. Once more, on the next rep, we keep the hands as far forward. Maybe they're only a little bit forward and the legs keep moving. Go full stretch if you can. Breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Two more. Last one. Hold it. Hands out, legs out. And hold a lift for 10, 9, stretch everything with each count, arms and legs. 7, 6, 5, 4, stretch, 3, 2, 1, and gently pull it in and gently rest it down and stretch the backs. Give the back a good stretch, push back and rest. Nice big breaths again. Remember to fill the lungs with air. When we're exercising, we need to get the air into the body. We need to recuperate the air, the oxygen that our body is using, that it uses as we exercise. So plenty of breaths, nice big breaths all of the time. From there, let's bring it forward, let's open up the hips. So let's step the foot in front and drop the shoulder inside, changing sides each time. So try and open up the hips as much as you can, lean to that front foot, drop the shoulder inside. Great exercise for the hip, for both hips. But we will add a little bit more in a second before we spin around and go onto our backs. Last repetition. So let's add in an arm movement as well. We step, right foot goes forward, and in that position, the right arm goes up, comes back down. Step back, left leg front, and open up. You can have those hands a little bit more narrow if you want. So, lean and turn. Nice and gentle turn. Stay down if you have the last rep. We're going to be lifting and doing this. So, you may not be able to get the foot as far forward. You may not be able to lift the arm off at all. Or you can always stay down if needs be. So, let's lift into our plank position. Let's step the foot forward. And then take that arm off. Bring it back down. Step it back. Change. So again, it doesn't need to be a big movement when you turn the body or when you get that leg forward. Try and go back into that plank position. And another option. Step, drop the knee, and turn. Come back down, lift, step back, change sides, drop the knee again if you need to, that back leg, and turn. Or again, just stay down all the time. Either way, keep moving. Once more, each side. Let's hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest that hand back down. Let's change sides, finish it off. Count as quick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest the hand back down. Finish it off. Bring it back to your plank. Drop the knees and sit back and rest. Breathe. So again, remember, like that last exercise, if you find an exercise too tough, modify it. We started with the easier option. And you can always stay with that easier option if you want. Or maybe you can go into the tougher option, and if things become too much, then you drop back to the easier option, but you keep moving. Let's try not to rest at any stage. Let's bring it around and let's spin. Legs to the front, roll back. Let's get a little stretch into that back. Little bit of mobility, turn, changing sides. 2 repetitions each side. And bring it back up. Let's get those abdominals working. Lift the legs to tabletop, hands directly above the shoulders, opposite arm, opposite leg. Hold for 1 big breath. And then pull it back. Change. Hold. Lower back is in position. Breathe in as you return. Breathe out as you switch. Breathe in. And out. So we aim to be there for 2 seconds, and then you pull it back and keep that going. Gently hug the knees, pull the knees to the chest. Give that back a little breather. A little bit of pelvic tilt, drop the feet. Pelvic tilt, just to get that lower back moving. We're not peeling off, it's just those hips tilting, pubic bone dipping towards the mat, and then it's coming back towards us. Arching the back, space underneath, flattening. No space. Let's keep that movement going. We're going to lift the hips slightly off the ground. So just lift a little bit. And now gently getting our pelvic tilt. Try not to let the hips go too high, even get your hands in underneath. Just a little bit, so that you can be aware where those hips are. They're staying close. They'll lift a little bit because as you pull the hips towards you, you will have to get those abdominals contracted, and that will lift the hips a little bit higher. And keep that back comfortable all the time. You may not have as free a movement because we're lifted, more muscles engaged. And those abdominals will work to pull those hips towards you. And gently rest it down. Quick stretch each side, a little bit of rotation again, 1 repetition each side. And pull it back. Back into our opposite arm, opposite leg. Lift, but we lift our shoulders. So again, it's a 1 breath hold at the back. Opposite arm, opposite leg. So keep that breathing going throughout. Stay down if you have to. Once more. Gently rest the head. But we go into a straight leg position and we're going into twisting the legs. You can turn your toes towards you, roll the shoulders, straighten and turn your toes one way and the other. So it's a hip rotation, but straight legs, toes go to the left, toes go to the right, lower back staying in position. Once more each way. Pull them back and get the hips stretching. Pull one knee, lengthen the other. You can rest it down and really open up the hips. So especially after that last exercise, hip rotation, now try and pull the knees high towards the head and as wide as you can. So nice strong arms to get the flexibility into the hips. Last one. And from there, again, we're going lifting. This time, each time you turn your legs, you're going to drop them a fraction. Doesn't matter how much, even a little bit. Just remember, the lower they go, the more pressure everything comes under. Roll up, lift the legs, and so turn the hips, drop. Come back up, other side. Once more each side. And pull them back. Pull the two knees wide. Again, open up the hips, open up the inner thighs. Let's rock side to side. So your hands are doing the movement. You're pulling on the right knee, you're pulling then straight away on the left. And it's just small little rocks side to side. So the hands will pull the inner thighs into the stretch, and a lovely way to open up those hips. Nice big breaths as you open up those hips. And gently bring them back together. Lifting again, and this time we crisscross the legs. Straighten the legs, cross. 1, 2, 3. They go down a little bit. How much again is up to you, even an inch. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, down. Breathe in for those 3 crossovers. Breathe out for the next 3 down. Two more. Last one. And gently rest it down again. Let's slide the feet away, go to full stretch and lengthen. Lift the ribs as high as you can. Get that little bit of mobility into the back. Bring the arms back down. Once more, we will lift again, getting those abdominals working this time. Let's not rest down. Let's do our exercises back to back. Curl the shoulders. Let's get our hips moving. Stay with that if you have to once we advance it into our next exercise, which is single leg, or rather straight leg stretch. So get those hamstrings stretching. Double stretch. Pull, 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 pull. No rest. Let's go back to the tabletop, hands out, hands behind the head, elbows wide, and into our crisscross. Nice and slow. Slow down, concentrate on the breathing. No lower back movement. Let's hold it to one side, and in that position, let's drop and lift that straight leg. Try and pull that knee towards you a little bit more without using the hands. Last one. Switch and hold. Straight leg up and down. 5, 4, 3, 2. No rest. 1. Pull it back. From there, hands by your side. Straighten the legs and drop and lift. Just a slide. 10, 9, 8. Lift the shoulders. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold the last one down slightly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly bring it back. Rest it down and rest the feet. Slide away and stretch. Lengthen. Give those abdominals a breather. Again, when we do those exercises back to back, the abdominals, we tire them out. Same with any muscle group. You tire the muscles out, you fatigue them, and you build up their strength. Just keep it comfortable at all times. Take it back a level. If you feel that those abdominals are coming under too much pressure, in the sense that you feel it low in the lower abdominals and close to the pubic bone, if you feel a pull in that area, which just might be putting a little bit too much strain on the tendon. And into our hip and lower back. Drop the knee across. Push that knee down. Again, loosening out the back. Loosening out that spine. Changing sides. And gently rest it down. Let's spin around, let's open up the hips away. So bring the foot across and let's go into our glutes. Again, try to keep that foot across the body and then come down into it. And relax in that stretch. Go into some deep breathing if you can. And try and bring that other hip. So I'm stretching my right glutes. My left hip is trying to come around that side so that I'm not sitting out too much on that right side. And relax gently out of it. Use that upper body strength and let's switch. Again, resting down into it. And even in that position, if you can, my right leg is outstretched back behind as I stretch my left. Try and bring your right leg further over behind you, which can be a little bit tricky, but it can help you. If you can edge it towards you, keeping that foot in position, then you can get that little bit more of a stretch. And again, come down into that position if you can. And again, gently relax and bring it out. Finish off in our two choices. You can come up into your hip flexor, which as always is that position, or you can go back if this position is comfortable. So hands back, gently face the other way, hands back and lift the hips. So this is a preferred position, not necessarily to open up the hips, but the shoulders as well. Keep the wrists, shoulders, everything comfortable. At knees might not allow it. So you know yourself at this stage, if you can go into this position, go into whichever one. We will, after 15-20 seconds, change. If you're up on one knee into your hip flexor, stay in this position if you can, or take a little break halfway and shake out the arms and come back up again. Great position to open everything up along the front of the body. And even a good position for the shoulders to work in. If they're okay with staying back in that position, doesn't suit some people's shoulders, because of the extension. And gently rest it down. Shake out, stretch the shoulder across the body, especially after that last exercise. Stretch it anyways if you were stretching your hip flexor in one knee. Change arms. And shake it out. All right, guys, well done. Again, another tough session. Hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to the next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.